Sports.
Matt Kemp and the Los Angeles Dodgers in town for Game 2 of a 3-game set for Kemp, who's played in just 67 games this season. A lot of nagging injuries, but playing well in his return. Jed Jerko, you can't ask for much more as you check out his numbers as of late. Hit his 20th home run of the season in last night's 2-0 win over the Dodgers. It is a gorgeous Saturday for baseball. This is the last time these two teams will meet this year. The last series, Game 2 of a 3-game set. It's going to be Bert Smith against Clayton Kershaw. It's great to have you with us alongside Mark Sweeney. I'm Mike Pomeranz. Mark Grant, Nick Enberg enjoying the day off. So as I mentioned, Bert Smith is going to get the start. He's making his 6th start in the big leagues, coming off his first big league win. What do you think worked for him so well against Atlanta?
Well, Mike, you go back to that 5th start, and there was an outstanding fastball command on both edges, but also the changeup came into play. You have to get off that fastball and show him you have something else to go to. He racked up some strikeouts, but I think that 5th start is something he's always going to go back to and say he belongs in the big leagues.
Well, yesterday, the day after the Dodgers clinched the West, they sent out a lot of guys who may or may not be with this club in the playoff run. However, today, a different story. It's a big-time lineup. It's going to be Clayton Kershaw on the mound. This is a guy who all but leads baseball in every pitching category. He has been something again this year.
Well, the bona fide ace poses a huge problem for the San Diego Padres. If he has his stuff, he has a good breaking ball, a changeup to go along with that. He knows how to pitch, and he can pitch with his fastball. Against the Padres, he has struggled with location, elevated in the strike zone, and Kyle Blanks, as you can see, hits the ball off the facade in Los Angeles. He has struggled with location, elevating that, and hopefully the Padres can capitalize on his few mistakes.
When we come back, we've got a lot on the menu before first pitch. We're going to talk about Houston Street. Picked up another save last night, 32 now, and Kelly Curl talks about his streak of 24 in a row.
is on the way. Last night, though, Houston Street enters the game with a 2-0 Padres lead on the line, and the Dodgers send in their big guns. It took two big strikeouts from Houston. Both Yasiel Puig and Matt Kemp, who you saw there, both go down as Houston picked up his 32nd save of the season. And he said it was important to him to get that win for Robbie Erland, who pitched so well. And, of course, Houston there making light after the game of what could have been a very dramatic situation.
Well, I figured they'd be tired from swimming in the pool so much. So, no, they had those are their guys, and you got to beat their guys. They came in, they were taking good swings, and tough players, and give them credit. They're the division winners. You're playing a team that's going to the playoffs, but you still want to get it done on your home turf.
So Houston Street also saying, this is how the Padres finished up last season. You got to build on the momentum, carry it over to next year. And hey, Jed Jerko continues to build on his momentum. 20 and counting for the Jerk Store. We'll see if he can do it again tonight as Bert Schmidt heads to the mound. First pitch coming up right after the break.
Another stunning evening in San Diego. We're getting you ready for the first pitch. This is game 2 of the 3-game series between the Padres and the Los Angeles Dodgers. The Padres taking game 1 in brilliant fashion last night, a 2-0 final. Robbie Erland spinning a gem, and today it's Bert Smith against Clayton Kershaw alongside Mark Sweeney. I'm Mike Pomeranz. It's Dick Enberg and Mark Grant. Enjoy the day off. Should be a whale of a ball game because for the Dodgers, they have rested their stars yesterday, and in the lineup today, a little different look for Don Mattingly, courtesy of Hyundai. Yasiel Puig will lead off. He'll be in right field. Carl Crawford gets the start. He's in left. And Matt Kemp gets the start in center field. Adrian Gonzalez at first base. Juan Uribe, Mark Ellis, A.J. Ellis, Nick Punto, and Clayton Kershaw.
Well, here's a scouting report brought to you by Jaguar of San Diego for Bert Smith. The last time out in Atlanta, changed their minds, had great success with his changeup, with those strikeouts, and keep the fastball down early. We saw Robbie Erland have success last night. That velocity fastball will come into play, especially with that changeup off of that fastball.
So Bert Smith looking for his second big league win. Behind him defensively today, brought to you by the Aramco Group. Jesus Guzman is in left. Kristen Orfia in center this evening. Kyle Blanks getting the start in right field. Chase Headley, Ronnie Cedeno, Jed Jerko, Tommy Medica, and Nick Hundley behind the plate. So Jed Jerko continues to provide the power. His 20th home run on the season coming last night. That ties him now with Evan Gattis as tops among National League rookies.
Well, he took another step up in the development of Jed Jerko, and what a great moment for him individually last night. But when you talk to Jed Jerko, it's all about victories for him.
So it'll be Yasiel Puig, Carl Crawford, and Matt Kemp to face Bert Smith. And we're underway. Well, for Birch in his first win against the Braves, he was sterling. 7 innings, 3 hits. Didn't allow one till the 6th inning. Punched out 10. Weather about what you'd come to expect this time of year, just a day before fall begins. Beautiful 71 degrees, mostly clear.
Why not?
That's
why we're here.
Al Gibson calling balls and strikes today. Over at first base is Kerwin Danley. Second base, Vic Carapazza. And at third base, it'll be Bill Miller.
Yeah, Kerwin Danley, San Diego State guy.
So Puig calls timeout. Puig back in the lineup 2 days after the Dodgers clinched the National League West against the Diamondbacks in Arizona.
Well, tried the breaking ball twice, as you see Carl Crawford in the on-deck circle. When you get ahead of Yasiel Puig, you can pitch out of the strike zone.
Off the plate. And Puig is aboard with a walk.
Well, Mike, for Birch tonight, he has to limit those walks. He did a nice job with that in Atlanta. Only 2 walks in his last start to go along with those 10 strikeouts.
Well, Puig will try to go. He's got 11 stolen bases, but he's been caught 8 times. A little reckless, if there's a knock on him at all. Carl Crawford lifts this one foul. Puig has given all of Los Angeles something to cheer about, but he's not without his warts. Young guy. Got to try to rein him in, is what Don Mattingly's been telling us.
Well, they want to corral him, but they also want to let him go. It's that happy balance they can try to figure out for the young man. Like if you look at the first base coaching box, like Davey Lopes is one of those guys right there, Davey. And you can corral him. That's a guy that's been through everything in baseball. A lot of knowledge. Had him here in San Diego. Taught me a lot about the game.
Oh, looked like he had Puig leaning, but throw not very close.
Well, Mike, for Bert Smith, it's not all about just throwing strikes. You got to handle the running game. Something that is not necessarily stressed in the minor leagues so much. They dominate the minor leagues. They come up to the big leagues and they're in stressful situations.
Off-speed pitch. Count now even at a ball and a strike. Medica holding Puig close. If you watched the game yesterday, you saw what is maybe the grander version of the Dodgers AAA lineup, Albuquerque Isotopes, as he gave the regular guys a day off. Nice snap throw. Nearly got him, but Puig back under the tag.
Let's look pretty close. Let's take a look at it. With that right-handed first baseman, very tough to let that ball travel. If you're a left-hander, you can let that travel with a good throw and drop that tag right on that backhand.
Woo. 92 miles an hour inside, called strike to Crawford. Crawford is a .281 hitter, 5 homers, 28 RBIs. At the end of that bat, a roller to Cedeno to Jerko for one, and Puig makes sure there's no throw.
That just not hit hard enough to turn to. Some of the things that Jed Jerko, as you watch, understands the game. We talked about last night his offense. Talked a lot about his defense and how well he's done. That's part of the game. Just get the out, get out of the way, especially with Yasiel Puig coming in hard to second base.
Here's Matt Kemp. Has played in only 67 games this season. A load of injuries.
It's been a lot of injuries, but you have Yasiel Puig, Hanley Ramirez, Andre Ethier has played center field. As we take a look at Houston Street, what a second half he's had.
Had a big matchup last night against what was the strongest bench Don Mattingly's ever had. Because he didn't start the regular guys. Kemp could come off the bench, Gonzalez off the bench. Houston was able to get Kemp, pick up a save. So Mark, as you were talking about with Kemp trying to get some at bats right now with Ethier nicked up.
Andre Ethier is struggling running. He can swing the bat. He's a few days away, but for Matt Kemp, he's been out so much this year. As you said, Mike, they need at bats. Went to instructional league, got 10-15 at bats a day, and that's going to work, but you don't have the intensity. You need the intensity in the batter's box in a live situation. Hopefully Don Mattingly, you can get Matt Kemp ready for the playoffs and have a real tough situation who to play.
Here goes Crawford. The throw down from Huntley is not in time, but Crawford's in with his 14th stolen base of the season.
Well, Carl Crawford picked a perfect pitch to go on. Good jump from first. It was also a changeup, as you see Jed Jerko just catching that throw from Nick Hundley. Not a chance. That was stolen on the pitch.
Smith in the hole, 3-0 to Kemp. And Kemp is aboard. Second walk of the inning by Burch Smith.
On some of the starts that Burch Smith had previous to his last one in Atlanta, the walks have come into play. That is not necessarily his MO in the minor leagues. He's done a nice job, he's racked up strikeouts in the minor leagues. I think Bud Black and Darren Balsley, the pitching coach, do not want to see Burch Smith timid out of the strike zone.
Smith comes into the game today, 13 walks in 24 2/3 innings.
That's too much.
Darren Balsley knows it. Fastball command. Boy, I've heard that once. I've heard it a million times around here this year, especially with the young pitchers developing. Adrian Gonzalez. Gonzalez had a pinch hit single last night.
This is another player that Don Mattingly has to monitor. And he's getting in there. 98 RBIs coming into this at bat. These are also times for personal milestones as well, but you got to get healthy for the playoffs, and this is one of the guys they need healthy. Oh, good breaking ball by Burch.
Hitters with runners in scoring position. Boy, Gonzalez at 329. That is among the highest in baseball.
And those names speak for themselves. It's what you see all the time, the consistency that that list has.
Big pitch, 0-2.
You could see Nick Hundley raising his glove, asking for that pitch out of the strike zone. Raising that eye level. Just changes the perspective as a hitter. You're locked into that downward fastball. You get that elevated fastball. It takes your eyes off it.
Oh, looked like he fooled Gonzalez there. Struck him out. Second out of the inning. A big strikeout of Adrian Gonzalez.
Well, the previous pitch is what set this up, and this is a tough breaking ball that stays up there. But he got away with it because he showed him that fastball up previously. Good pitching by Bert Smith.
Here's Juan Uribe. 273 with 12 home runs in 126 games this season.
Well, Mike, and this is also a player last year that they were almost going to eat his contract because he wasn't performing.
That ball hit hard to left field. Charging is Guzman. And Crawford will dive back. Looked like they might have had a play there at third, but Crawford hit the brakes pretty hard.
Well, a breaking ball sits over the middle of the plate. Take a look at Jesus Guzman charging this, getting it on one hop. I thought Chase Headley had him at third base as Ronnie Cedeno slips in. Tim Wallach tries to hold him down, almost knocked him over. See Ronnie Cedeno be in the right place. I don't think Chase Headley picked him up until it was too late.
So a little conversation at the mound as Mark Ellis digs in. With 2 outs, just be a lot of show right now for the Dodgers. Burst can get out of here and leave these Dodgers stranded.
Well, we saw the same thing last night with Robbie Erlin struggling in the first inning. These are some of the scenarios that Bert Smith has to try to get out of.
Ellis is a .289 hitter with runners on base this season. Here you see Crawford, Kemp, and Uribe. Ellis swings through. Fastball from Smith.
With a lot of movement in on the hands. We've seen that four-seam fastball with plus velocity on Bert Smith. We've also seen that two-seamer incorporated into his repertoire.
Oh, 2 pitch is fouled away.
Well, Mike, let's take a look at that last pitch. 0-2. You cannot miss over the middle of the plate. Set up outside. You want to miss off the plate. See if he throws the changeup right here.
Fists that one into the Padre dugout. Hey, you want to see everybody scatter when you guys have guys who are on the bench and hurt. Don't need anybody making a play on a foul ball.
Nope.
0-2, 2 outs, bases loaded. Ball lifted to right field. Kyle Blanks gives it a look and foul again.
And that's the quality 0-2 pitch that you want. On the edge. Take a look at the difference of this location on the fastball. Off the changeup, previous pitch. That's where you need to locate.
Smith has to be careful with Ellis. Good hitter with bases loaded as well.
This is when you want to rely on Nick Hundley and his experience. He's asking for it down.
Nice pitch. And freezes Ellis with the off-speed pitch. Gets himself out of a bases-loaded pickle. Lights out of Mark Ellis. Padres coming up. Here's San Diego County Lexus dealer who invites you to test drive a luxurious Lexus automobile today. And by Petco, where the healthy pets go. By Farmers Insurance. Contact your local agent at 888-96-FARMERS. And by Jack in the Box. Go big at a participating Jack in the Box with Jack's really big chicken sandwich combos. Bottom of the first inning. Dodgers unable to score, though they had bases loaded in the top of the first against Burch Smith. Padres won the first game of this series 2-0. And today, here's the starting lineup for San Diego, brought to you by Toyota. Kristen Orfia leads off, gets the start in center field. He'll be followed by Chase Headley at third base. Jed Jerko hit his 20th home run of the year. Will hit third. Hit that home run in last night's ball game. It'll be Guzman, Medica, Kyle Blanks, Nick Hundley, Ronnie Cedeno, and the pitcher, Burch Smith, all facing former Cy Young winner Clayton Kershaw. First pitch hunting. Kristen Orfia continues his torrid hitting against Clayton Kershaw. A leadoff single.
Well, why not be aggressive? Kristen Orfia has had some success on that fastball elevated by Clayton Kershaw. Used the middle of the field. Love it. He's had some home runs against Clayton Kershaw as well. That's a good leadoff situation and ideal for the Padres.
Captain Orfia, a .296 hitter in his career against Kershaw. Coming into action today and quickly aboard. Snap throw over, does not get it.
You got to be careful with Clayton Kershaw. 6 pickoffs this year. He's got a real good move. You saw the step off there.
Here's Chase Headley. You got to wonder if Kershaw, as brilliant as his statistics are overall, has at the back of his mind today that the Padres have beaten him 3 times.
Well, don't think that doesn't get in your head, Mike. You know, and I go back to 1998, Kevin Brown, outstanding starting pitcher for us, our ace. Montreal Expos, he could not stand throwing to them. And the reason for that, a lot of chopped balls off the turf, and he struggled. But you can see from Clayton Kershaw, he has struggled against the Padres. That ERA skyrocketing, and the home runs, that's the important thing right there. 5 home runs, only 11 allowed all year. We talk about Kevin Brown, and he was very vocal about pitching against the Montreal Expos for some reason. A lot of it had to do with the type of hitters they have, and I think the Padres, if you look at their lineup, give Clayton Kershaw a lot of problems. They're very aggressive.
Kershaw behind the Headley now, 2-0. Ball is lifted behind third base. Nick Punto. 1 down.
Let's take a look at the scouting report for Clayton Kershaw. Continued success, because the Padres have had the success, as we've alluded to, but also make the most of the opportunities early in this ball game with those mistakes. Capitalize on those for the Padres.
Kershaw has lost 4 in a row against a couple of teams in his career, but never in the span of just a single season. Over the span of parts of 2 seasons, but if the Padres can beat him today, it'll be the first time he's lost 4 to one club in 1 year. Jed Jerko. Last night, home run number 20 on the season. A solo shot in the 5th. Way out of here in center field.
That was loud. Good for Jed Jerko, taking that next step in the development.
Sweep tag by Gonzalez, not in time. But Kershaw shows you so many different looks.
Well, let's take a look at this. A step off and a good throw. The location you can see from the left-hander in Adrian Gonzalez. A lot easier to apply the tag. I remember J.T. Snow for the San Francisco Giants, very good at that. He let the ball travel as far as he could and drop that tag straight on. You got to have a good throw. Adrian Gonzalez does a nice job of that, but for Clayton Kershaw, and to be an ace, you have to control the running game. He does an outstanding job with that. With that being said, Mike, the Padres have to capitalize. He throws a lot of breaking balls, and they're breaking balls in the dirt. You have to take the extra base if you're the Padres. We all know that Chris Denorfia wants to do that.
As you saw there, Denorfia can go. 10 stolen bases. Hasn't been caught.
Well, in my estimation, the best base runner on the club. Does all the little things. We saw an outstanding slide last night. And his baseball instincts through the roof.
Jerko talking about trying to develop a little bit of patience. We saw him walk a few times in the Pittsburgh series. I think he surprised himself a little bit at the benefits to that, but
I think part of that, Mike, is being able to hit with 2 strikes and not be afraid of that.
3-1. In there for a strike.
It looked like he was looking for that fastball on the inner half.
Guzman waits on deck.
With Clayton Kershaw offensively, you almost have to split the plate in half. And if he locates like that last 3-1 pitch, you tip your cap. Well, that's the patience right there. Outstanding at bat.
So Jerko waits out Kershaw, and it pays off. He'll trot down to first with a walk. It'll move Denorfia over to second base as we check out the Dodger defense, brought to you by Hyundai this evening. It'll be Carl Crawford in left field. Matt Kemp is in center. Yasiel Puig in right field. Juan Uribe, the third baseman. Nick Punto at short. Hanley Ramirez with the day off again. Mark Ellis is at second base. Adrian Gonzalez at first. Then A.J. Ellis is catching Clayton Kershaw.
Hopefully we don't have to see Yasiel Puig throw anybody out on the base pass. You haven't seen his arm.
I don't think you're going to be seeing too much of it right here as Guzman lifts the ball easily in right field. 2 down. Yeah, he's got a cannon. I think sometimes they wish he'd hit the cutoff man occasionally.
Well, sometimes you have to run on those guys, even with a powerful arm. Remember Raul Mondesi in the Dodger uniform, Vladimir Guerrero in the Montreal Expos, plus arms. Those are the guys that like to show it off. You can expose those arms. They want to throw everybody out.
With 2 down, here's Tommy Medica. This is his 11th game, second one he's played at Petco. 250, a couple of home runs on the recent road trip.
Tommy Medica's had some success against a tough lefty already in Cliff Lee for Philadelphia. Hit his first home run against their ace. Here's another matchup. Welcome to the big leagues.
Yeah, no night off. Kershaw ahead 0-1. There's 2. If you're a young hitter like Medica, do you wait him out even at all, or you've got to just be aggressive in the strike zone?
Well, I think Tommy has been aggressive, and we've seen that. Taking some nice swings. You see power in his swings. He uses his lower half very well, but this is a tough challenge. You don't want to get passive against Clayton Kershaw.
And Medica goes down swinging, so Kershaw gets himself out of a pickle. A lot of base runners, no runs across.
to the mound, and before his tremendous outing in Atlanta, veteran closer Houston Street offered the 23-year-old righty some words of wisdom.
Go back to when you were 12 and you were playing in the backyard and you knew you were the best. And you were just proving to the little kids, your next door neighbor, you were better at baseball than him. I said, just think of these guys as, it's just your big neighborhood. It's the big leagues. And go attack. And I think once guys get back to the game, once they get back to just executing, making pitches, and battling, go out there and battle, then their game starts showing up.
Mike and Mark, I just love the way Houston is always willing to find you an analogy or tell you a story to get his point across. But the truth is, with these younger pitchers, a lot of times Houston says it's the mental side of the game that they battle more than the mechanical side.
It is the mental side, and thank you, Kelly. And Houston Street understands the importance of being a great teammate. He's got given advice by Luke Gregerson this year on his slider, but giving back and getting these younger guys not only their feet wet, but knowledge that he has received in his career.
So Bert Smith will face A.J. Ellis, Nick Punto, and Clayton Kershaw here in the top of the second inning. Ellis out towards center field, and easy play for Kristen Orphan. One down. Ellis had his moment in the sun a couple of games ago, and the Dodgers clinched against the Diamondbacks.
They hit the game-winning home run against Josh Colmenter. He's done a nice job behind the plate, controlling the staff.
Here's a veteran, Punto. Punto's one of those guys, been all around the league, and with every club, he's always been brilliant defensively.
Yeah, Mike, I think it's one of those guys you love during the season. Then the offseason, you don't want to pay him as much, so you start hating him for these guys. And unfortunately, but this is a guy that it's the glue to your ball club. You got to have a solid bench, because when you have injuries, you got to play defense.
And he is a guaranteed highlight. You talk about a benefit for Don Mattingly with Hanley Ramirez nursing a little bit of a back issue. Just to have a guy to go to like a Punto. No real drop off defensively, maybe even an upgrade.
Well, we've talked about that too, even from the Padres' perspective, having Alexi Amarista moving all over, Logan Forsythe, see Ronnie Cedeno playing solid defense. Be at Petco Park for the final home series and Fan Appreciation Week. You can enjoy great deals all week long as the Padres show their appreciation to you, the fans. Enjoy 25% off merchandise, a different $1 concession item each day, and a chance to win great prizes during this 4-game set against the D-backs. Visit Padres.com/promotions for all the details.
Said discount food.
You like that?
There goes Punto. And he is thrown out by Hundley as Kershaw makes that wave.
Well, a hit and run that doesn't execute from Clayton Kershaw, and a nice strike by Nick Hundley.
Maybe might go bunt there. Kershaw likes to try to hit and run. No avail. So Punto's cut down for the second out of the inning. Kershaw does have a home run. But like a lot of pitchers, I think if you're a half decent athlete, you go big or go home, right?
Hey, they get a lot of first pitch fastballs that they try to get after. A nice location on the changeup.
And Bert Smith punches his ticket. Kershaw walks slowly back to the dugout. We're scoreless. Second game of this 3-game series. It is the Padres' final homestand of the 2013 season. And we're so glad you could join us. It's Mark Sweeney and Mike Pomeranz with you as Dick Enberg and Mark Grant are off. Former Cy Young winner Clayton Kershaw against Birch Smith. A lot of traffic on the bases, but no runs across for either team. It'll be Kyle Blanks, Nick Hundley, and Ronnie Cedeno to face Kershaw here in the second. Boy, Blanks earlier this year got to the left-hander.
Yeah, he's dropping the head on that ball off the facade in the second level. Kyle Blanks, he's got it in him. Picture perfect swing. He's got to get back to that power side of his swing.
You see Blanks with 8 home runs on the year. Of his last 40 hits, 14 have been for extra bases. Decent speed for a big man too.
Oh, he's a very good athlete. Move positions. I'd like to see Kyle let the barrel out just a little bit more. He's a big man that has to drive the ball out of the ballpark. There's a fine line too, Mike, because he gives you good at bats. He comes up with big hits. But you want to be that threat in the batter's box, and with Kyle not being consistent with the time in the big leagues, going through injuries, I think that's hurt him in the sense of getting that timing. Because then you start thinking about mechanically what you can do differently.
3 balls and a strike. And the count's now full.
Here's Edison Volquez last night.
You know, for Volquez, end of the night, 6 1/3, 1 earned run. That part of the line score is pretty good for Volquez.
Yeah, solid performance by Edison last night. Had to be a little bit difficult, but like anything else for Edison Volquez, it's those emotions on the mound. Got a little bit to him last night. It's that consistency. You got to lock it in, and didn't have all 3 pitches working at the same time last night. I thought the Padres had solid at bats against him.
And Blanks swings through strike 3 against Kershaw for the first out of the inning. It's time for the Saquon Casino Daycation stat of the game. National League leaders. Most strikeouts by pitchers this season. There's Kershaw, top of the list, 214. So leads the National League in earned run average, coming in at 1.94. Here's Nick Hundley.
Yeah, Mike, these are the guys that when you see Clayton Kershaw throwing, you got to turn up the dial, the intensity. It's a real tough challenge, but it's an exciting challenge. You got to embrace it. Sometimes is easier said than done, because the numbers speak for themselves. But if you're the Padres and you've had success against him, this game is built on confidence, and the Padres have done a nice job building confidence against Clayton Kershaw.
Well, Hundley's hit him well. 346 clip coming into action today. But Kershaw ahead here, 0-2. And Kershaw gets Hundley. Back-to-back strikeouts. That's 3 in a row now for Kershaw. As he seems to be turning it up a notch.
This looked like a little cutter on the outside edge. Nick Hundley did not like it. When you stick the glove, see A.J. Ellis right on that outside edge. Looked like a good pitcher's pitch.
Ronnie Cedeno. He's faced Kershaw 9 times, looking for his first hit. Ronnie was 0 for 3 in last night's ball game. Bounces this one sharply to the sure-handed Uribe. And the Padres go in order in the second. When we come back, Yasiel Puig will lead off for LA. Padres. Clayton Kershaw against Birch Smith. Walks, strikeouts, those we've got for you. Runs? Not so much. Hoping that the Padres get a little something on the board as we welcome a guest into the booth up here. It is Jarrett Dudley, now of the Los Angeles Clippers. Welcome, my friend.
Glad to be here. Hometown, watching the Padres. It's always good to be here.
Getting ready for camp pretty soon, as you guys are, I think, surprising a lot of fans by starting things off here in San Diego.
Yeah, you know what? For me, it's a dream come true being back home. Get to go on lunch with my mom during a 2 a day or something. But for the most part, man, I think this year for the Clippers, a lot of excitement. Doc Rivers coming in. We made a lot of trades, acquisitions. So for me, I'm not going to play anywhere closer to home, San Diego. So it's the best situation for me, and I'm ready to go.
And Jared, the Clippers are built to win, and I think adding you and that three-point presence too is going to be good for the Clippers. You got to be excited with the talent on this ball club.
You know what? If you had told me before this trade, I'm not just saying that, like, what team I want to go to would be this team. And then you add Doc Rivers, where, you know, anytime you get the top contending teams, you got to have a championship coach. And that's what he brings. So, man, I mean, this is perfect for me, man. I'm so excited.
What's it going to be like to play with the talent of Chris Paul? And I know you got Blake Griffin, but Chris Paul is the one that sets up everything.
It's kind of like Steve Nash that I had. Steve Nash took my game to a whole nother level. He makes good players great, kind of like when Tom Brady's and all these guys. And that's what Chris Paul does. So for me, it's stay in the right position, work on my chemistry with him, and then, you know, just knock down shots, man. That's what I've been doing so far in this league, and that's what I'll continue to do.
Puig, Crawford, and Kemp to face Birch Smith here in the top of the third inning.
40% three-point shooter, not bad in the NBA, huh?
Hey, that's something I've been working on.
As Puig goes down on strikes for the first out. Boy, your days with the Suns, a lot of fun to watch. It's got to be a little peculiar, though, for you to check out your own game. Right? When you assess, I mean, you're assessing yourself and your own abilities against other players in the NBA. At what point in a player's career do you feel like you belong?
That's a great question. For me, it was my third year with the Suns. On the Bobcats, I was trying to find my role, and I think Steve Nash helped me just trying to find my niche.
Well, Crawford finds the wall of Birch Smith with an out, and he'll roll into second base with a one-out double. You much of a baseball fan?
You know, Padre fan. You know, back in the good old days, they had Kevin Brown. We were going to the World Series. I went to one of the games and beat the Braves. But the Padres, you know, it's coming along slowly, and we know that. But I'll be here when those days turn around. I'll be here for them.
You know, you play your cards right, you get a Mark Sweeney autograph.
Oh, don't do it.
1998.
I can tell you to lift the weights over here.
Oh, yeah.
It's called retired.
He's good with the golf club. Did you ever play? You play baseball when you were in high school?
It's about 6th grade, and then 7th grade, the ball started coming a little too fast. I wasn't ready for it after that.
And too big of a strike zone, too.
I know, right?
Here's Matt Kemp with Carl Crawford at second base. Well, Kemp is a guy who can put up MVP numbers if he stays healthy.
Hey, Jared, so many times we talk about the presence in L.A., 2 clubs, and the Lakers have stole the show. How important is it to try to grab that piece from the Clippers' perspective? And, you know, the Lakers struggled last year, and now's your time.
No, definitely. I mean, last year they went 4-0 versus the Lakers. You know, with the whole Dwight Howard drama. The Clippers have definitely now taken a little more of L.A. slowly. Obviously, when you have stars like Blake and Chris. But we'll start opening day. We play the Lakers opening night at the Staples, and that first game sets the tone of the season. So we're going to come out ready to go and hopefully get that win.
You know, in your estimation, and it's probably an easy question, but the best player in the NBA for you?
LeBron. I think everyone is. I think he's now, over the last 2 years, kind of asserted himself like that. And I'm kind of glad to watch him, man. He took so much flack, and then now he's come up, and it's a good spokesman for the league.
And with 2 outs, Carl Crawford moves over to third base. The ground out from Kemp as you check out the Clippers highlights. 80 total games on Fox Sports San Diego this season. Very excited to begin our coverage. Regular season on FSSD beginning on November 1st as the bouncer to Cedeno will do it for the Dodgers in the third. Jarrett Dudley, our guest in the booth. Thanks so much for swinging by.
Anytime, guys. Thank you for having me.
Good luck.
Thank you, sir.
Enjoy camp. And more important, enjoy being home.
Yes, sir.
Monday on Fox Sports San Diego. Join Costa and Judson as they get you dialed in on the latest sports news, updates. Extra Sports 1360 on Fox Sports San Diego starts Monday, right after Padres Live, the postgame show.
Oh, good guys. It was nice to have them on the postgame show the other day. Talking Chargers, talking Padres, you name it. How about Bert Smith? His first big league hit, coming off a very tough left-hander in Clayton Kershaw. Congratulations, Bert Smith. You got a little something for the mantle.
Yeah, you better get that baseball. Congratulations. Great start last time. First major league hit against Clayton Kershaw. And I tell you what, anybody that went to school with him, there's going to be plenty of text messages, talk. He is always going to be talking about this. And what a beautiful swing on a fastball. Short to the baseball.
Smoked it.
And the first major league hit. Awesome.
Yeah, he hit this ball well. Right on the beam.
Well, you know Tony Gwynn loves that. 5.5 hole.
Let's see if Chris Denorfia can move him around. Dino singled in the first. And we talked about it at the Open. Denorfia against Kershaw, 321 hitter. Chris has 9 home runs, all of them off of left-handers this year. He has 3 in his career against Kershaw.
Yeah, Clayton Kershaw is trying to create ways to try to get Chris Denorfia out. You have that much success against someone, you start figuring out different ways. Chris Denorfia just battles in the batter's box.
Two balls, one strike. Throw over to first. May have just been a matter of wanting to see what, if anything, the Padres are going to do there. Don't think Bert Smith is a threat to go after his first big league hit.
There's a lot of things you can do. Chris Denorfia can still lay down a bunt, possibly hit and run with Bert Smith. Got to try to create ways and also take some chances.
You know, for all Kershaw has done this season at 14-9 with an ERA under 2, this month struggled a little bit. 1-1 ERA at 4.26. Check out our Cold Hard Fact brought to you by Frostbrewed Coors Light. Chris Denorfia with those 3 career home runs against Kershaw. The only player with more, Adam Dunn. And it's not a lot more, just 1 more.
I guarantee Adam Dunn has a lot of strikeouts too. It's home run or nothing for Adam. Not taking anything away. Good for Chris Denorfia. It's not that power bat, but he's got power in his bat.
Well, you and I called that game against Cincinnati where he went deep off Aroldis Chapman.
One of the best home runs and moments for the Padres all year this year. I'm a big Chris Denorfia fan.
Full count, nobody out. And Denorfia patiently waits Kershaw out and draws a walk.
And that's why. Battling that good breaking ball, fouling it off to get to another pitch. Drawing a huge walk.
You know, interestingly too, Mark, it seems to impress a lot of us as fans when we come to a game. We see just how fast the pitches are actually arriving at the plate, as opposed to on television. Everything looks like it's slow. Tremendous amount of patience and discipline involved there in drawing a walk, especially off a guy as tough as Clayton Kershaw. Here's Chase Headley.
To your point, Mike, it's a split-second decision, but you got to get yourself in a hitting position to make that decision, and very difficult, especially the anxiety with 2 strikes. And we see night in and night out, the good ones have that calmness about them in the batter's box. Goes along with talent.
Headley having himself a much better September on an off year for him. see him finding himself a little bit?
Well, I talked to Alonzo Powell, the second hitting coach for the Padres, and he likes the fact that Chase Headley is not fouling as many pitches off. There's Alonzo Powell right here. But he likes what he's doing. He's shortening his swing. He's not doing too much. It just looks like the timing of all aspects, his lower half and upper half, are working together.
Now Headley has 5 home runs in 15 games this month.
Well, solid road trip. Looked very comfortable, especially left-handed. He's got the power in his right-handed swing.
Ball kicks away from the catcher, Ellis. So as Headley goes down on strikes, it'll move the runners up 90 feet. Bert Smith over to third, and Kristen Orpheus at a second. Kershaw came into the game with 11 wild pitches.
There's not many times you can say a strikeout is a benefit, but I think in that situation it was. That hard breaking ball that gets away from A.J. Ellis and advances the 2 runners in scoring position. Ground ball will get a run in.
Padres with something going here in the bottom of the 3rd inning. Jed Jerko. Been talking about patience, and Jed, I said he's developed some here as he works himself into a 6-game hitting streak. He walked in the 1st inning. Walked a few times in the road trip. The Padres were 6-4 away from Petco. And we've seen it before with Kershaw. This is where he really seems to dig in. It'd be quite an accomplishment for the Padres to get something across.
Yeah, Mike, that's why we talk about the prize players in this game, because when the times are tough and you call an ace, they don't struggle in these situations. They pick their game up. And I marvel at that because you see it every single place that they have that #1 starter.
Let's see what Jed can do behind 0-2.
He continues to pound that fastball in on the right-handers. See if he goes with that breaking ball or changeup mix. That's what he likes to do with 2 strikes.
Jerko to second base. Charging is Ellis, and there's going to be a play at the plate. Bert Smith cut down. So the Dodgers turn 2 as the rookie pitcher learns the hard way. It is tough to score in the big leagues. Kershaw gets himself out of trouble. Jerko bouncing to Ellis. Gonzalez to the plate. Bert Smith, you're gone. We're scoreless after 3. here at Petco, the second game of the final homestand of the 2013 season. Game 2 of 3 against the Dodgers. Your San Diego fans of the game. A little worry on that face. Don't worry, Padres going to get a few across. Clayton Kershaw and Bert Smith matching zeros. Like the Brown?
I do. I wish they wore it more. You know, it's all about the history of the game, Mike, for me, and I think that's the history for the San Diego Padres. I'd like to see them bring it back a little bit more. I know they do those throwback uniform games. There's a lot of pride in San Diego, and the brown uniforms, I think, go along with that.
Back up Uribe.
You hear the fans booing. That's a breaking ball that just backed up on him. Not a comfortable feeling as a hitter.
Well, Uribe does the smart thing for those young players out there. You turn away from that pitch. Uribe, Ellis, and Ellis to face Smith here in the fourth. With a nice play, boy. We've seen a few gems by the fans last couple of games. Make that play. Looks like an interception and a blink. So Smith looking to settle in. He has struck out 4. He has walked 3.
That's the location on the fastball. Starts off the plate, and with that sinking action, that arm side run, catching the edge. Changeup. Fastball.
Nice pitch. That'll freeze Uribe for the first out of the inning. That's the 5th strikeout today for young Birch.
I can see Nick Hundley set off the plate. That movement works. Back on the edge. Got to have trust in your catcher.
First 3 starts, Birch ERA over 18, but the last couple of starts 1.5. Throw a game the way he did against Atlanta on that road trip, 7 innings, no runs, a couple of walks, 10 strikeouts. That'll do wonders for your earned run average.
Oh, I thought that was a good breaking ball.
Yeah, we saw young Robbie Erlin in yesterday's ballgame, just 22. Birch Smith just 23, making his 6th big league start.
A lot of promise.
It's a point worth reiterating, one you made yesterday, and that is we're so used to talking about some of these young players, we forget how young they are when the average break-in age for pitchers is more than mid-20s, 25, 26. There's stories, these gentlemen, because of their age and ability to get to this level so quickly.
Yeah, it takes a time to mature in this game. Some innings.
I thought I had a play right there.
But I think Robbie Erlin and Bert Smith, to their credit, as you see both of them there, have earned their promotion up here with solid numbers in the minor leagues. Let's not go unnoticed, too. Bronswell Patrick, the AAA pitching coach, and Jimmy Jones, the AA coach, pitching coach, have done an outstanding job developing these 2 youngsters. So many times we talk about Darren Balsley, the pitching coach here, and we love what he does. But it's the development in the minor leagues. And he benefits from that. He fine-tunes these young men.
Mark Ellis rips that ball foul. You know, to your point with Birch, good numbers in Tucson, 5-1 record, ERA in a hitter's league of 3.39. That, as you pointed out, big difference between AAA and the major leagues.
You know, Mike, so many times people talk about on-field stuff. You have to mature as a person. 22 years old, 23 years old. Think about where you were and what your jobs were. Living out of a bus, living out of a suitcase, and then having to perform on a big stage.
Ninth pitch of the at-bat is ball 4 to Mark Ellis. So Ellis draws the 4th walk of the day, issued by Bert Smith. Robbie Erlin's job last night. certainly worth another look. He outduels Edinson Volquez, goes 7 2/3. Doesn't allow a run, walks just 1, strikes out 7, 4 hits.
Yeah, solid breaking ball, good changeup, and fastball command. After the first inning, when he got through some traffic, I thought he settled in and got in a good rhythm. Like you said, Mike, 7 2/3 in the big leagues. I don't care what lineup is out there. It's major league players. Good job, Robbie Erlin.
Here's A.J. Ellis. He's 0 for 1 today. Flied out to center in the second inning.
You see the 8 home runs by A.J. Ellis. This is a hit and run candidate. In the 0-0 game, I think Don Mattingly might possibly take a chance in this situation. Bert Smith is thinking along that same lines.
Well, Nick Punto would follow Ellis. And in the pitcher spot, Clayton Kershaw. Ball lifted down the line and left into the corner. And that ball is gone. 2-run home run. A.J. Ellis, his 9th home run of the season.
Let's take a look at this location. It's a changeup down and in. Not a bad location. Nick Hundley wanted it away. Sped up the bat of A.J. Ellis. Just barely out of the ballpark.
So Ellis delivers a blow here in the 4th as the Dodgers try to regroup. After losing 2-0 yesterday, they are playing for a shot at home field advantage in the postseason. Quick 2-spot here against Bert Smith to see if the young man can settle in and limit the damage. Got 1 out. Ball and a strike against Nick Punto. Off speed, working the bottom of the lineup now. And a good pitch gets Punto to wade through it. Second strikeout of the inning. And Bert comes back from giving up the home run to Ellis to strike out Punto. Bring up the pitcher Clayton Kershaw. Kershaw struck out his only time at bat in the second. Ellis giving Kershaw a little bit of a lead, and that's really all that Kershaw can need on a given night, though he has not been as sharp as baseball fans have seen him. Still don't want to be in a hole against a guy like this.
Well, Mike, for the Padres, they've always battled back. They don't give up, and that's a testament to their manager, Bud Black, and his staff. Not everything has gone right for the Padres, but the one thing you can say, these guys do not give up. They play 9 solid innings.
A 2-out walk to the pitcher. The Dodgers will go back to the top of the lineup. 70 total pitches. 25 of them here in the 4th. Yasiel Puig, a walk and a strikeout.
Mike, we've talked about the maturation of Birch Smith. The last home run he gave up was on the 4th of July in Boston. Jacoby Ellsbury. Keep him in the yard.
We're down there before the game talking to the Dodgers. Everybody looking for a plan on how to attack Yasiel Puig as you check out the rookie leaders in batting average. He's right there at the top, 331. He's a hacker. He'll bounce this one to Cedeno over to Jerko, and that'll do it for the Dodgers in the 4th, but not before the big blow. A.J. Ellis, a 2-run shot. Padres coming up.
There at the top of the 4th, and it is time now for our AT&T Twitter poll question. We want to know from you who has impressed you the most since the All-Star break. You can vote on Twitter by using the following hashtags. Hashtag JerkoStar, 12 home runs, 28 RBIs since the break. Hashtag VenableStar, how about a 321 average with 11 home runs since the break? Or hashtag CashnerStart, in 10 starts, he's 5-3 with a 2.36 ERA. Or hashtag StreetStar, gotta love 17 saves in 17 opportunities. We'll give you the results later in the show, but with those opportunities, who do you guys think has impressed you the most since the All-Star break?
Ooh. You know what? That's a great question. It's one of my favorite Twitter poll questions we've had because Jerko power numbers are there. The average has slid a bit, but his power has been outstanding. Venable, we all know what a great month he had in August. Cashner's been a ton of fun to watch. You know what? I'm gonna defer to big leaguer Mark Loretta. Lo, who do you think has been most impressive?
You know, just the man on the camera right there for me, guys, Andrew Cashner. I think he's really taken the next step into becoming an ace. He's always had that great arm and electric stuff, but I think he's put it together in the second half unlike anybody else. Even though I'm an offensive guy, I got to go with Cash in this one.
Well, I have to agree with you too, Mark. And you look at Andrew Cashner, and I'm going to go a different route because I've been very impressed with Will Venable, and the reason for it, consistency and also matching up against those left-handers. He's been a role player with Chris Denorfia, been forced into it, but I think he's simplified his approach. With the 11 home runs and 21 RBIs, he has taken it to the next level. I think it's a great question, like you talked about, Mike, but you know, this is promise, and you look forward to next year. You want that consistency and reaching that next level, but I think you can't go wrong with all four.
I think we all agree on one thing regarding Andrew Cashner, and that is there is tremendous value in a guy going out there as a starter when there was all that talk about whether he should be coming out of the bullpen. He had the big power arm. Boy, you can get a guy like this out there 25, 30 times a season, 200 innings, hopefully, over time, as opposed to maybe 60, 70 innings as a short man. High value. Guzman lifts this ball to the infield. Mark Ellis. One down.
Mike, you're still ducking the question, though. Who's your pick?
Let me see my choices again. You know I'm a man of numbers.
I mean, didn't you
Don't shake your head at me. You know I like this
Didn't
stuff.
you look at the choices?
I looked at it, but it takes me a while to process it. I want to absorb these things. I'm a huge fan of all these guys at Houston Street. I mean, Houston Street has been ridiculous.
Mike, we're all fans of these guys.
They're all deserving.
Look,
Mike,
I'm buying myself time, all right? I'm spinning my wheels. Here's Tommy Medica. Most impressive.
Really?
I don't want to be disrespectful. I'm going to go Cashner, though. I'm going to go Cashner. Don't shake your head like that. It's a lot to consider there. I'm a thinker. Not necessarily a deep thinker. Or perhaps not necessarily intellectual.
Or quick.
Or quick. What are my strengths again?
Let me get back to you on that.
Put some people on that.
Let's put that on a Twitter poll.
Yeah. Wow. I mentioned this is Tommy Medica. No, I think Cashner. The more I think about it, because Houston's done this before.
Well, we don't want you to think about it.
Yeah, that's true. I'm more dangerous that way.
You've already proven that.
I make the case now that Houston has done it before. We kind of come to expect it. Venable's not as young as the other guys. Jerko's been impressive, but I'll go Cashner.
I think the part that you have to look at for Andrew Cashner is the dominance that he's had. You look back at the Pittsburgh start, almost a perfect game. Just the athletic ability and what he's done to make a difference. He's used that sinker a little bit more. He's gone away from trying to throw it by everybody, but he still has that velocity to make it very uncomfortable for hitters. Slowly becoming the ace. So you don't want to put that tag on him, that stamp, because you have to earn it with longevity. Your impressions of Andrew Cashner, Mark?
Same. Ditto, man. I got you. He's really taken it to the next level. I think he's taken the responsibility, too, of being a top-of-the-rotation guy. Whether you say he's an ace or not, I don't think it's important, but he's a guy that goes out there, will give you 7-8 innings of quality baseball.
I just got a shocking email from our friend Trevor Hoffman. He's weighing in on the poll.
Is he on Twitter?
Of course. I know you're new to that game.
I'm new. Yeah, I'm trying to learn about it.
Welcome aboard.
I'm feeling Twitterish. Hopefully Tommy
like
Medica's feeling hitterish.
Are you going to wait a little bit longer to try to tell us what Trevor Hoffman said?
Building the suspense. Medica down on strikes. So Hoffman goes in with, they said it's not shocking, Houston Street. How could he not?
It's a close-knit community, those closers.
They know how tough it is. And Street, 32 saves and 33 chances. Has just been lights out.
Well, that's like me saying I would have gone with Kotze if he was on the list.
You want me to get Hoffman on the phone? Squared away with him?
You don't have his number.
It's going to take you a while.
It's true, I don't. A Street fan. Knows a thing or two. Kyle Blanks. Kyle struck out in the second. Kershaw now at 56 pitches in the bottom of the fourth inning. He struck out 5, walked 2. A couple of Padre hits. Off speed there to Blanks. And Kershaw gets Blanks, so he strikes out Medica and Blanks, and the Padres go down in order. They trail by 2. And Birch matched him for a stretch as he is trying to find his rhythm, and it has been a little bit of a battle, but he's looked overall pretty darn good as he has struck out 6 Dodgers, walked 5, and Clayton Kershaw has himself a 2-run lead. A chance for the Padres on this play right here, but Burke Smith, who was on third, tried to score but cut down at the plate. The difference in this ballgame, A.J. Ellis. 2-run home run in the top of the 4th inning. And that is where we stand here in the top of the 5th. Kershaw, Smith, Ellis, and Denorfia contributing to the ball game tonight.
Credit A.J. Ellis, the man right there, putting the barrel on a baseball that was down and in.
Carl Crawford lifts his one behind short, and Guzman drops it. Miscommunication out there. It was Cedeno who looked like he was going to make the play, but Guzman coming in hard on it.
For all you youngsters out there, you have to communicate, especially if you're an outfielder. Be aggressive, because it's uncomfortable for the middle infielder to come out on that baseball. You see Jesus Guzman just takes his eye off it a little bit because he's getting close to Ronnie Cedeno. Ronnie goes back. He's got to try to catch it, but he's listening for that communication.
So Guzman with his 6th error of the season put Carl Crawford aboard for Matt Kemp. The heart of the Dodger lineup, Kemp, Gonzalez, and Uribe.
Well, for Birch, use that sinker. Try to induce a ground ball. This is Matt Kemp that's trying to get his timing right. He's not running very well. He's a double play candidate.
Just joining us, Andre Ethier still battling an ankle issue, so they're trying to get Kemp some at bats, get his timing right. They go into the postseason. Snapped over to first, and Crawford is back.
Mark Loretta, you have a different view down there. What do you see from Birch Smith?
You know, Swains, I think he looks pretty good overall. You know, that one mistake you said to Ellis looked like that changeup kind of ran in, but I like the way he's attacking the strike zone, using all his pitches. You know, he doesn't seem overwhelmed by this lineup for sure.
That's a different lineup than we saw in yesterday's ball game.
Slightly.
Star laden tonight. This is a team with a payroll in excess of $217 million. So,
you know, guys, for me, it's always a good test for a young pitcher when the defense makes a mistake behind them. How do they react?
Good point.
Blanks gives this a look down the line. How about that play? Just eases it, big body over the railing, makes it look like no problem at all. Not an easy play by any stretch. He's got the crowd, he's got the line, he has the wall, the fence.
What a play. You can see Kyle Blanks. He has been friendly with the walls. We saw him run into the wall in San Francisco. And Matt Kemp hoping that goes in the stands, and yes, that's frustrating for him. Credit Kyle Blanks for an outstanding play.
That could be a big out. Adrian Gonzalez now up with 1 out and double play in order. Gonzalez had a pinch hit single last night. Struck out in the first, grounded out in the third.
Well, we've seen some quick feet by Birch Smith tonight. Going over to first base.
Ball skied. Behind second base, DeNorfia comes in. 2 down. So the big hitter, Gonzalez, retired. As Bert Smith makes a statement, retiring Gonzalez now. 3 straight at bats. And Juan Uribe with 2 out.
The last time with Juan Uribe, struck him out on a fastball on the outer edge. Looking. Dangerous bat with one thought on his mind.
Crawford, as we all know, can run. Had a stolen base in the first. 14 now on the season. He's been caught, though, 4 times. The Padres doing a nice job of running in yesterday's 2-0 win. San Diego stole 5 bases. Nick Hundley had his first from the "here's something you don't see every day" file. Ball, no strikes, 2 outs, 1 on.
Now there's those scarves. Good looking scarves.
Cholos.
Yeah, that's what I heard.
Yeah, Smith gets in there, and Medica looks to the wall. He'll make the play.
Nice job, Bert Smith.
Birch gets himself out of any would-be trouble after the error in left field. Padres trail 2-0. Padres fans, Fox Sports San Diego presents Padres Baseball. It's brought to you by Sequan Casino tonight. Real friendly, real close. By Mossy Toyota, thousands of vehicles, one trusted name. Visit Mossy.com. And by the Aramco Group. Purchase, refinance, reverse. Be a hot place to be in a Gaslamp Quarter this evening. Maybe another Padres win. They trail in this one, though, 2-0. Won the first game of the series behind Robbie Erlin last night. 2-0 the final. Clayton Kershaw against Bert Smith. Hundley, Cedeno, and the pitcher spot due up here in the home half of the 5th inning. Nick struck out in the second.
Mark Loretta down near the dugout with Clayton Kershaw and watching him. What do the Padres need to do to change up and get some success against Kershaw?
Just take advantage of their opportunity swings. I think they had runners on second and third. That one inning didn't get a run in. And like you said earlier, when Clayton gets in trouble, he gets even tougher. That's a sign of a number 1 pitcher.
Three balls, 1 strike. Ball bounced to Punto at short. 1 down. Now Kershaw has the big arm, but I wanted to get your thoughts, Mark, on this. I think it's kind of a funky delivery, this little hitch in the front foot.
Yeah, it's a herky-jerky, but he has that leg drive and the arm speed. But he has a lot to go along with it. He was a fastball, curveball guy that came up and threw 96, 97 miles an hour with the fastball. He's reduced that, thrown more strikes, added a slider and the changeup. And out came a dominant pitcher with location. Mark Loretta, you've been around this young man. Your impressions of him just being around in that same uniform?
He's a great guy. I mean, that's thrown around loosely, but he is as good a guy as he is a pitcher. And just back to Mike's point, you're right. He almost starts his windup completely over again. He makes a complete pause, and that is tricky on a hitter. It's almost like sometimes the Japanese style pitchers, when they stop mid windup, was always tough for me.
And Kershaw freezes Cedeno, second out of the inning. Another strikeout for young left-hander. It's his 7th tonight.
Well, it's location on the edges. That's that cutting action with that fastball.
Now, Kershaw's numbers this season: ERA at a 1.94, tops in baseball. And you can see the rest. That Kershaw, should he be able to finish the season with that ERA under 2, be the first Dodger to do that since Sandy Koufax did it in 1966. Kind of wondered what we'd see from Kershaw because he got the additional rest, and we talked about that a little bit in the open as to whether he might be a little strong.
Well, I think that's all about setting their rotation up, moving forward into the playoffs.
Bert Smith behind, 1 ball, 2 strikes. Bert's got his first big league hit. His only time up today, a single into third. Sharply between third and short. And the Dodgers clinching the division, first time since 09. Mark Loretta's on that team. You're with him in 08. Another playoff team for LA. 2-out fly ball. Yasiel Puig. And Kershaw continues to throw up the zeros. The Dodgers lead 2-0. Game 2 of this 3-game set between these two clubs. Final homestand of the year for the San Diego Padres. Mark Sweeney and Mike Pomeranz with you. As Mark Grant, Dick Enberger off this evening. Our AT&T Twitter poll: who has impressed you the most since the All-Star break? Jed Jerko, Will Venable, Andrew Kashner, Houston Street. Everybody weighed in. Got a phone call from a guy destined to be in the Hall of Fame. Best closer Padres history. Trevor Hoffman says to me, if you want me on the phone, I'm happy to join you. Trev? Appreciate it.
Mikey, how are you, kiddo? I just want to prove that I was in your Rolodex, buddy.
I appreciate it. Vindication.
You got it over swings. I love it.
Hey, that's big time for Pomeranz. You know that as we take a look at your number 51 retired here. But weigh in on that AT&T Twitter poll because I want to hear your reaction to those 4 choices.
Hey, you know what? I love where you guys went with it. Understand the Kashner thought, but don't underestimate really what Mr. Street has done since the All-Star break. 17 for 17 and a .39 is not just something that you should just take for granted. Everyone else has done a nice job, but let's not put him in a level where he's done it before. We become expectant of that. It's hard to pitch, and it's hard to pitch to expectations. So if you just take it for value, face value, whatever else is done on that page, gotta love what Houston's done.
That's a great point. And you know what? The closer defending the closer doesn't exactly shock us. However, we know you well enough to know that if you really thought it was somebody else, you'd have gone there.
Truly understand. Truly understand. If I felt strongly about anybody else, I'm still going to speak my piece. But I appreciate you guys having me. Enjoy the rest of the ball game. I'm loving you at home. Get her done.
Thanks, Trevor.
Appreciate it, Trev. But Trevor Hoffman, vote counts more than mine. That is for sure.
That's a strong vote.
So Houston Street is the choice by number 51, Trevor Hoffman. Still plenty of time for you guys to chime in at home. Go to Twitter. Hashtag your favorite, Jerko, Venable, Kashner, or Street. Who's impressed you the most? As Tim Stauffer gets loose in the Padre pen. Mark Ellis, A.J. Ellis, Nick Punto to face Bert Smith here at the top of the 6th inning.
You see the last at bat from Mark Ellis. He walked previously before A.J. Ellis with the home run.
Ellis to right. 1 down. So our Coors Light Freeze Cam, brought to you by Frost Brewed Coors Light, is the other Ellis, A.J. Ellis. At bat now, but when he was at bat in the 4th, he connected on a 2-run home run, curled into the left field corner. And that's been the only scoring this evening.
Well, it is location, Mike. We constantly talk about in that game. And if you put that changeup down in a way that Nick Hundley wanted, it's probably a ground ball to shortstop.
Well, they haven't scored a ton of runs, the Dodgers. They've done a lot of their fantastic run this season on the arms of that pitching staff.
You can see A.J. Ellis over swinging after that first home run. Start getting a little froggy. That longer swing. I've been impressed by Bert Smith tonight.
What is it that has struck you most?
Well, you look at the last inning, in fact, after the Guzman error in left field, comes back with 3 outs and pitches his way out of problems. You know, at times he's lacked the command. He's thrown some good change-ups. Mark McGuire having conversation with Yasiel Puig.
A.J. Ellis pops this one up. Tommy Medica. 2 down. You know, Birch is a great listener, according to Darren Balsley. And when you talk about a guy's development, I mean, the difference between hearing and listening, you see that right with the young players where they hear what you're saying, but are they really able to absorb it and then apply it in front of a large crowd, bright lights, big league stage?
I think that's a great point. You have to apply it, and it takes time. You have to have patience in the game. You have to have patience with Bert Smith. But the bottom line when you're in the big leagues is not developing young men here. You have to develop in the minor leagues. It's all about wins and losses here. When you're mathematically out of it, you're in a different scenario. You want to see Bert Smith achieve those different goals. And I think if you look at him and his body of work, that last start in Atlanta, tonight he's executed some situations. And he racks up the strikeouts.
6 so far tonight for Birch, as he looks to set down the Dodgers in order here in the 6th. And Punto will battle you, though. Batting average, and probably a mid-250s kind of guy.
Well, Mike, if you go back to Bert Smith's Tampa Bay in his first start in the big leagues, that was a struggle. It's come a long way.
Guzman coming in on this ball and left. No trouble with it this time as Punto is the 3rd out of the inning. Padres coming up in the home half of the 6th.
But looking to put up some runs here as Christian Orpia gets the inning underway for the Padres. And it's time now for our Twitter poll results. We ask you, who, in your opinion, has impressed you the most since the All-Star break? And with 42%, it is Andrew Kashner. How about that? 10 starts, 5-3. They love it. Will Venable, love him as well, 38%. Jed Jerko, 12% there. And Houston Street coming in last with 6%. Of course, we heard from Trevor Hoffman. That was his vote. And there's one thing I just want to add on Houston Street. I remember something that stuck out to me back in June and July when he faltered there a little bit and gave up a couple of wins. He said, you know what, I want you to come back when you took some heat and judge me at the end of the season. It's all about the full body of work for him. And now, as you've talked about, Mike Pomeranz, 17 for 17, I think people might have a little bit of a different opinion.
Yeah, I think you're right. We're not to judge. When we've seen his body of work, as you had mentioned there, for the course of his career, we know the game ebbs and flows, and guys going to find a rhythm, lose a rhythm. But Trevor Hoffman, you should know that Houston Street called us and thanked you for your vote.
Yes. The future Hall of Famer.
We thought.
Thank you for weighing in, and you see that you did not sway the votes.
We thought he'd have more influence. Vote early, vote often.
I mean, I think right before that Twitter poll, we would have put on hell's bells. I think it would have spiked the voting.
That'd have been a difference maker. Dodorfia, Headley, and Jerko against Kershaw in the bottom of the 6th inning. Hits have been tough to come by for both sides. Dodgers have 3, Padres have 2. And the Dodgers lead in the only category that matters. 2-0 ball game. Bert Smith. Whoa. That's an eye-opener.
Well, that's a scary moment. For Chris Tenorfia, that is way too close.
Well, you never like to see that. Unfortunately, Chris able to get himself out of the way. 2 balls, 2 strikes now. I'll tell you what. Credit to Norfield for even being able to stand in there and take another swing.
Well, that's frustrating. I know Chris Tenorfia is a little upset, and he has reason to do it. That 2-strike pitch, Clayton Kershaw's control is unsettling.
So after that close call and then strikeout, it'll be Chase Headley. Well, you could just feel it in the crowd, too. Everybody's a little uneasy after that. That ball hammered down the left field line into the corner. Chase will roll around first and pull up with an easy double. And the Padres have a runner in scoring position.
Now, Mike, there's moments in games that pick up intensity, and Chase Headley comes up with a beautiful swing on a fastball elevated, rips it down the line. But to get back to that intensity moment, Chase Headley was in the on-deck circle, and that pitch went by the head of Chris Tenorfia. Hopefully the Padre hitters took that in consideration and pick up the intensity.
Here's Jed Jerko. He's been about as hot as anybody in a Padre uniform. Had himself a good road trip. He homered in last night's ball game, his 20th of the year, a solo shot. 2-0 final. He's got a chance to do a little damage here. Jed is 0 for 1 this evening. He walked in the first.
Jed Jerko's also had some fastballs down and in. Now that last pitch was located down and away. Pitching in different quadrants.
San Diego could certainly use a hit here with runners in scoring position. 0 for 4 tonight. 0 for 11 last night. Carlos Quinton, trainer Todd Hutchinson. Now it becomes that thinking man's game that you talk about, where you don't want to outthink yourself, but Kershaw ahead 1 ball, 2 strikes to Jerko.
Oh, we talked about splitting the plate as we see Tommy Lasorda, Dodger blue, John Boggs to his left. And getting back to your point, Mike, splitting the plate. I think Jed Jerko had a plan of attack, looking for that fastball in. He's got 2 fastballs away, and they're located away from your plan. That happens. We've seen some patience, that we've alluded to, with Jed Jerko. We've also seen some mistakes leave the ballpark.
No question, Jed has pop. But Kershaw wins the battle here. Strikeout number 9 for Kershaw.
Breaking ball. And a devastating breaking ball after you see the velocity and the location on the fastball of Clayton Kershaw tonight. 16 of 21 first pitch strikes. That makes it uncomfortable.
Here's Jesus Guzman. Looks like that fastball has that late life you talk about.
It almost has a cutting action to it. You can see, especially when he throws it into the right-handers. Very difficult to stay inside that pitch. See if he goes away after he comes in.
See Ellis try to frame it there. Kershaw came into the game today with 214 strikeouts in 223 innings. He has 9 so far tonight.
You can see how Gibson, the home plate umpire, is being very liberal with that strike zone inside. You can see right in here, that's off the plate, and he's getting those calls. You can see number 3.
The bouncer, Uribe. Easy toss. Guzman is retired, so the Padres will leave a runner stranded and trail 2-0.
I'm Laura McKeeman. That's Mark Loretta. We're getting you ready for Padres Live, the postgame show. We'll see you on the final out with that. And Mark, a pitcher's duel for much of this game.
It really is, yeah. Credit Burt Smith for keeping his composure tonight, matching Clayton Kershaw pitch for pitch more or less, other than the one mistake he made to A.J. Ellis. But it's been a good old-fashioned pitcher's duel, and Padres are going to have to find a way to scrape a couple runs together, get back in it.
Certainly, and when we see you on the postgame show, hopefully we're talking about a Padres victory. We'll also have Andrew Kashner live to talk about tomorrow's start. And Jared Dudley, now a Clipper. Of course, he's a San Diego guy. We're going to visit with him, and he'll have great details about the Clippers season. So we're a very well-rounded show, Mark and Mike.
Very well-rounded people. Don't sell yourself short. Looking for a great postgame show. Mark Loretta, nice enough to pinch hit.
He could do it all.
And Mr. Versatility. Tim Stauffer, new Padres pitcher. Burt Smith's night is done. Birch goes 6, 3 hits, couple of runs, 5 walks, 6 strikeouts. And Clayton Kershaw lays one down, button for the hit. Headley can't make a play. And Clayton Kershaw picks up a base hit. We kind of stagger step there out of the box, but got it down and beat it out.
He laid down a perfect bunt. And for Chase Headley, it was a do-or-die play. To get down the line. Talk about Andrew Kashner as we see the play. With the bare hand for Chase Headley. Let's talk about Andrew Kashner and helping himself. That's what Clayton Kershaw is all about.
So with a runner on, Stauffer will face Yasiel Puig, who hammers this ball to center field, and Kristen Orthia can do nothing but look up. That ball is way out of here. Yasiel Puig, home run number 18. It is now 4-0 Los Angeles.
The located fastball up in the happy zone for Yasiel Puig. If you haven't seen him live, this is impressive. Not many people go up into those bushes, especially at night.
Well, Yasiel, you can have a little fun with his guys in the dugout, but that is one special talent. Nice try by Nick Hundley on the Crawford foul ball, but can't make the play.
What an effort by Nick Hundley. This is the effort that you want to watch, and that chair in the way. Looking down, trying to assess the area, and just misses it off his glove. The chair's there for security guards to get out of the way.
Ball hit pretty well right field. It's right at Kyle Blanks. So Crawford's gone. And that'll bring up Matt Kemp. You see that Puig ball just carrying out there to center field, and you knew it was struck well. You saw Kristen Orfia's reaction, giving chase in center field, and he looked up.
Yeah, he didn't do much chasing. Took a couple steps. Watched the carry on the baseball.
Ball measured at 457 feet off the bat of Puig.
Well, Mike, you talk about sounds off the bat. Different sounds. Mark McGuire right there, the hitting coach, had that different sound when he hit home runs. I know it puts a smile on his face to work with some of these hitters. Especially Yasiel Puig. Good changeup. Sat down and talked to Mark McGuire and John Valentin, the assistant hitting coach. They have a lot of talent to work with, but it's getting healthy, getting these guys needed at bats.
You know, you see a home run like Puig's, and fans often wonder how those distances compare. Adrian Gonzalez still has the longest home run hit ever here at Petco. 458 feet, just a foot further than Puig's tonight. And Stauffer gets Kemp. Kemp doesn't like it, but he'll walk back to the dugout. And Adrian Gonzalez will dig in. Gonzalez 0 for 3, struck out in the first. Grounded out, popped out. Tommy Lasorda looking over his troops.
Well, the ambassador of baseball, the passion that that man has for this game.
Well, he thinks the world of you. I enjoyed when you brought him on the set last year.
You know, the luxury of just being in the major leagues, no matter what uniform you're in, but you get to spend some time with Tommy Lasorda and you understand what he's gone through in the game. It's all about the game of baseball for that man. He's very proud of the Los Angeles Dodgers, and he'll let you know about it.
Quick with the line, too.
Yeah.
Isn't it? Great personalities in the game. Count even now. 2 balls, 2 strikes with 2 outs to Gonzalez. Another nice crowd here at Petco tonight. 40,572. Second game of 7. Round out the homestand. The final one of the 2013 season for the Padres. Bounced. Oh, a misplay, a horrible misplay by the Padres there. They played the big shift. Cedeno was over right next to Jed Jerko. I got it, you take it. And Gonzalez is able to dribble one through a shifted infield.
So you see a tailor-made ground ball to the shift. So Jed Jerko going to the right, Ronnie Cedeno going to the left, you take it. You also saw Adrian Gonzalez doing the explosion with his hands on a ground ball. Not a fan of that.
No, I'm sure that doesn't sit well with anybody in the Padres dugout. But Gonzalez has good numbers against his former team.
Right, here's the explosion. Things are going well for the Dodgers.
And they've taken the heat for celebrating in Arizona in the swimming pool at Chase Field, and sometimes a gesture here or there, Mark, right? Rub the other team the wrong way.
Yeah, and you know what? It's a matter of opinion.
Uribe with 2 outs. It's this one to center field, and Denorfia comes in, and that will finally do it for the Dodgers in the 7th inning, but not before Yasiel Puig lays into a Tim Stauffer pitch, a 2-run shot, a couple of 2-run home runs. Padres down 4-0. Bottom of the 7th inning. Some National League Central baseball to get you caught up on the Pirates, who the Padres handled, winning 3 out of 4 there. Russell Martin deposits one in the seats. Pirates battling Cincinnati in a very important ball game for them. They would beat the Reds 4-2, the final score at PNC Park. As the playoff picture gets a little bit clear, but at National League Central sure getting exciting. The Cardinals over the Brewers 7-2. Adams 2 for 4 with a home run. It's getting tight.
I'll credit the Padres for playing well in Pittsburgh. That was a much needed win, as you talked about. You could see Pittsburgh in a pretty good situation, but they would have been a better situation if the Padres weren't in town last week.
The Nationals hanging right there, playing good baseball. They dug themselves quite a hole, but they're only 4.5 back today. Tommy Medica and Kyle Blank's Nick Hundley scheduled. Medica 0 for 2, couple of strikeouts. Kershaw now staked to a 4-run lead. He has 9 strikeouts so far tonight. And Medica goes to left field. It's Crawford, one down.
This copyrighted telecast is presented by the authority of the San Diego Padres. It may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form, and the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the San Diego Padres.
Yasiel Puig feasting on a Tim Stauffer pitch in the 7th. 2-run shot. It's Kyle Blanks. And you see the offensive explosion in baseball over the last several decades, really. All the more impressive that any pitcher can run through a year with an ERA under 2.
Well, Mike, another impressive stat. Lowest career earned run average since 1920. Minimum of 1,000 innings and 100 games started. Clayton Kershaw leads the list, 2.63. The next two, Whitey Ford and Sandy Koufax.
Wow.
That is impressive.
It's good to see Mark Grant coming to the ball game tonight. Even on an off day here to support the Padres. That's a heck of a list, right? 25 years old. So Kershaw clearly has figured it out. A lot of good arms around baseball, but to be able to put up those numbers year in and year out. Worth a tip of the cap. Looking for some bright things, too, from these Padres young arms. And we saw some of that tonight in Bert Smith as Kershaw strikes out Kyle Blanks for the 3rd time this evening.
Breaking out the breaking ball. It's usually that hard slider, the fastball, and then a change of pace with the breaking ball.
Second time this season Kershaw has struck out 10. His high for the year is 12. Struck out 11 once as well. Nick Hundley 0 for 2. Strikeout and a ground out. Nick's had success against Clayton Kershaw. It'll be tough to get it tonight as Uribe will retire Nick Hundley, and the Padres go down in order. After 7, they trail by 4. Cloudy with a chance of meatballs 2 is in theaters September 27th. By Petco, where the healthy pets go. And by your San Diego County Lexus dealer, who invites you to test drive a luxurious Lexus automobile today. Top of the 8th inning on a gorgeous Saturday night. Clayton Kershaw throwing himself a Clayton Kershaw type ball game. Now with a 4-run lead, it'll be Brad Boxberger taking over for Tim Stauffer.
Well, with Brad Boxberger, this is an audition of sorts. Coming in and limiting the damage. At solid AAA numbers. He's pitched better of late. But for Darren Balsey, the pitching coach, he wants to see some consistency for Brad Boxberger. And why not? Moving forward, you have to evaluate. There's going to be some moves made in the offseason.
A couple of pieces of that Matt Latos trade you've seen now in the last couple of days. Edinson Volquez got the start for the Dodgers yesterday. Came over to the Padres, part of that deal, as did Brad Boxberger, Yonder Alonso, and Yasmani Grandal.
I saw Yasmani Grandal yesterday in the locker room. His spirits are high. Feels very good. It's getting stronger. That's a big addition next year, and hopefully that health can continue.
Hey, Yasmani's knee on the mend.
I thought that was a time in this year that was very devastating.
Well, Mark Ellis puts his ball to blanks and right, 1 down.
Very devastating to the San Diego Padres. Saw some good things with him, especially behind the plate. Not taking anything away from Nick Hundley, but it was a good mixture. Switch hitting catcher with power.
Yeah, could really handle the ball game, help the pitching staff. Here's A.J. Ellis. He put the Dodgers up 2-0 in the 4th. Hooked a home run to left. Dodgers scoring their 2 in the 4th, and then another 2 in the 7th on a 2-run shot by Yasiel Puig. And Bert Smith down and in there. But Ellis just curled it over the wall. And Puig would follow in the 7th with his 2-run shot. That went off Tim Stauffer. 3-0. And Ellis is aboard with a walk.
Chargers fans, it's time to bolt up. Thursday, join Laura McKeeman as she talks with Coach McCoy about the road ahead. Plus, the crew breaks down the X's and O's in Bolt's Breakdown. And meet this weekend's featured Chargers cheerleader, Chargers Insider. All new Thursday at 10 on Fox Sports San Diego.
Chargers with big test tomorrow against the Tennessee Titans. Like that sweatshirt. Nick Hundley will chat things over with Brad Boxberger, who got Mark Ellis to fly out to start the 8th and then lost A.J. Ellis on walk, and behind Nick Punto, a ball and no strikes.
We can see Nick Hundley going out. Bud Black writing some notes. Consistency for Brad Boxberger and the walks. That'll frustrate any manager and pitching coach.
Boxberger now 13 walks and 19 2/3 innings.
You know, Mike, because you see the stuff. He's got a good changeup. He's got velocity on the fastball. Throws the breaking ball. Can't keep putting yourself in positions to put people on with free passes.
Punto swing through that.
Did you see the arm speed, Mike, on the changeup? See the location down? He's racking up strikeouts at AAA level. You got to prove it at this level as well.
And while the Dodgers rested a lot of their regulars yesterday, they are playing for home field advantage. Don Mattingly saying they're not going to let off the gas pedal. If the postseason began today, Don Mattingly would certainly have his hands full. It would be the Cardinals would be their first opponent in the wild card play-in game. There'd be the Reds and Pirates. And Atlanta right there.
The play-in game's going to be interesting. I like that matchup. Dodgers and St. Louis Cardinals. That's a great matchup.
No, I asked you this before. I'm wondering, though, your opinion change at all? You like that idea of a one-game play-in?
Well, it's a seventh game series with one game. You know, I think that's the atmosphere it's going to bring. But I think if you sneak in as a wild card, you're going to have to use your best pitcher. You need to get into that next series. And that's a disadvantage going into the next series.
Swinging through. And home plate umpire Hal Gibson gives the wave, says no, it's a foul ball. The punto, it's just a little piece of it. And A.J. Ellis will move back to first base. Ellis off with the pitch, a little bit of commotion. As Skip Schumacher waits on deck. Hitting in the pitcher spot. Unless Brad Boxberger can roll a 2-ball here. Ellis goes again. Punto swings through it for strike 3. And Hundley guns down Ellis, so a strike him out, throw him out, gets Boxberger out of any trouble. Padres coming up, down by 4.
Don't miss Padres shirts off their backs presented by Saquon. Purchase a $1 scratch-off ticket at your next Padres game for your chance to win a jersey from the Padres player or coach on Thursday, September 26th. Proceeds will benefit the Padres Foundation.
Padres got to get a little offense going. There's a brand new pitcher on the mound for the Dodgers. Hopefully that will help because Clayton Kershaw was very tough, as is usually the case tonight. Ronald Belisario, 74 games. Hard thrower, good sinker.
Yeah, this is a power sinker with a fastball slider mix, but he loves his fastball. He has that arm side run and it gets flat, easier to hit. He's been elevating the baseball of late.
third of an inning he threw his last time out on Wednesday against the Diamondbacks. A couple of hits, 5 runs, 3 walks.
Well, this is a breath of fresh air if you're a Padre hitter. Getting Clayton Kershaw out of the game. Now hopefully he can go snatch a win. Rick Honeycutt on the phone to his bullpen, the pitching coach.
So it'll be Ronnie Cedeno, then the pitcher's spot, and Alexi Amarista is swinging a bat on deck. Cedeno looking for his first hit today. And Kershaw only allowed 3 of them. Denorfia, Headley, and Bert Smith. Those are the hits.
A lot of movement on the pitches by Ronald Belisario.
"21 holds for Belisario this season. It ties him for 9th in the National League.
For the Padre hitters, it sounds easier said than done, but you got to get them to the middle of the plate. If it's on the edges, it's going to, with the movement, it's going to work off the plate. As you can see from our Fox tracks by Southland Technology.
Bouncing ball, Punto charging. And Gonzalez makes the play, 1 away. You know, we saw the defense of D. Gordon yesterday and how erratic he can be despite his skills. Nick Punto, that's a different customer at short tonight. One of the better defenders, perhaps in baseball. Certainly one of the most versatile.
Well, Hanley Ramirez has done a nice job for the Los Angeles Dodgers, but Nick Punto is going to be that guy that you can double switch with defensively when you have a lead. Here's Hanley Ramirez.
Tweaked his back and then hits 2 home runs in the game that decides it for the Dodgers. A couple of games ago against the Diamondbacks, and had yesterday off again today. Alexi Amarista, the pinch hitter. ...137 ball games Alexi has participated in. 249, 5 home runs. We're watching him develop, and you had talked before about his needing to understand where he is in the game as far as, are you a power hitter or are you not?
Well, I think he's cut his swing down. He's done a nice job, and credit Phil Plantier and Alonzo Powell for doing that. He's taking the ball to left field on breaking balls. Earlier in the year, you saw some big swings, and Alonzo Powell, the assistant hitting coach, constant communication. They've been happy with the process that Alexi Amarista's done. Got some power in the bat. You can still shorten your swing, especially with 2 strikes.
Alexi's 5 for 25 as a pinch hitter this season. He's 0-2 now, though. Padres evaluating all of their players. The Dodgers doing the same for a different reason as they look to shape that postseason roster. There could be some very difficult conversations for Don Mattingly and the Dodgers. Maybe some veteran players who don't make the cut.
Well, Mike, when you have a payroll upwards of $200+ million, you have a lot of decisions to make, and they're going to be upsetting ones if you're not on the roster. But it's all about performance now and getting that top 25 together and healthy for the Los Angeles Dodgers.
That's a great point to make about the health. As we talked about at the beginning of the ballgame, Don Mattingly is keeping an eye on Andre Ethier. Still got the bad ankle. Matt Kemp trying to get some reps out there. So you've got Kemp, Ethier, Puig, Schumacher, and company vying for at-bats right now in postseason spots. Amarista bounces out to Gonzalez, 2 down.
Well, Mike, last year the Dodgers did not finish the year off well, but for the Padres moving forward, they would like to be where the Dodgers are. And that's why we talk about evaluating.
You have any idea on who might be fellas on the bubble or guys who are, and we know some of the younger guys going to have a little trouble making the postseason?
Well, I think it's about pitching and how they align. You like to have a long man in the bullpen, but you need probably 4 starters in the playoffs. And what a luxury it is for Rick Honeycutt, the pitching coach right there on the phone, to have Clayton Kershaw and Zach Greinke to lead that staff.
Who do you go with at number 3? Ryu?
I think Ryu has earned that. It's all about probably the lefty-righty moving forward with what that opposition's weakness is. See Brad Brock getting loose in the bullpen.
Yeah, Ricky Nolasco's throwing well for them.
He's had some good starts. He's had some up and down starts, but that's a guy in the mix. Edison Volquez will be talked about last night. Important start for him, taking the loss from the Padres.
I think that'll be a very interesting decision to point out. 2 balls, 1 strike, 2 outs here to Chris Denorfia. Count even now. I say interesting because you got to wonder with Volquez, does he give the Dodgers anything at all out of the bullpen when you have that propensity to walk a lot of hitters?
Yeah, when the consistency is not there, it's tough to put a guy in the bullpen that's not a strike thrower, that's used to be a starter and likes being a starter.
You've had postseason experience, as every Padres fan knows. On that '98 team that went to the World Series, is it an anxious time of year for players?
It is. You know, it's almost like you want to finish it, especially when you clinch.
And Belisario will finish Denorfia there. 3 up, 3 down for the Padres. We're heading to the top of the 9th inning. Padres trail 4-0. Bill, Craig, Robbie, guys in the truck, always knocking it out of the ballpark. Great job.
Outstanding job.
Taking all that fine video. Cholo Scarf giveaway day. Whatever it takes to start a rally. Whatever it takes. Get something going. But they first need to take care of business here defensively. Brad Brock is the new Padre pitcher. 31 games this season. ERA at 3.41.
Opponent average 3.19.
Skip Schumacher, pinch hitting, will lead things off. Schumacher was 3 for 4 last night. And his ball is bounced to Jerko. Nice spinning play. Medica, well done. Jed's doing what we've seen him do now time and again.
Well, anyone that questions Jed Jerko's range, all he has to do is take a look at this play. Watch how far he has to go for this ball and read the hop. Spin and throw. Way to go, Jed Jerko. Very athletic play.
Takes his time, sets his eyes, good strong throw. So Schumacher out for the Dodgers. We'll bring up Yasiel Puig. Highest fielding percentage among second basemen. And the Darwin Barney of the Cubs is any better.
Well, coming into spring training, if someone told me that for Jed Jerko, you always heard about his offense, but defensively, been very good.
Puig to right field. Blanks. 2 down. You know, as we check out the Dodgers coming in with their regular lineup, except for maybe Hanley Ramirez and Andre Ethier tonight, there's a reason they don't just stop putting the gas pedal down after they clinch the West. They want that home field advantage, Mark.
Well, and I've talked to some of the coaching staff and some of the front office staff about that from the Dodgers' perspective, and they're not worried about that. They played very solid baseball on the road. They have to get healthy, which we've alluded to already. It's about hit the ground running when you get into the playoffs for the Dodgers. And I understand why.
Keeping guys healthy, as you pointed out, is maybe the single toughest thing.
Oh, you don't have a crystal ball. You got to get the guys right. You try to get them enough at bats where they feel comfortable and set up your pitching.
So Brock retired Schumacher. A little help from Jed Jerko, and then got Yasiel Puig to fly out to blanks. And Crawford shoots this one into right center field. It's drifting on it is Blanks, and he will make the play. And Brock is able to retire the Dodgers in order, and the Padres will come up in the bottom of the ninth, down by 4. Mark, 7 innings, no runs, lowers his ERA from a 1.94 coming into a 1.88, and strikes out 10.
Well, Mike, we talked about the success that the Padres had and picked up the intensity for Clayton Kershaw. Losing 3 times to the Padres probably didn't sit very well from the youngster. Dominating performance tonight. Give credit where credit's due.
New Dodger pitcher, Brian Wilson. 14 games for Los Angeles this season. Back from arm surgery, he's 2-1, an ERA under 1. 8 strikeouts in 10 1/3 innings, 3 walks.
Well, Mike, you're going to see a lot of cut fastballs from Brian Wilson. The ex-closer from the San Francisco Giants doesn't have the velocity coming off the Tommy John. 91 miles an hour tops, but he likes to cut it and he stays away from both hitters.
Headley, Jerko, and Guzman to face Wilson here in the bottom of the 9th inning. Just 3 hits tonight for San Diego. Kristen Orphea single in the 1st. Chase Headley had himself a double in the 6th. And Bert Smith got his first big league hit, a single in the 3rd.
It starts with the first hitter. You got to get him on.
What's the approach when you dig in that box against Brian Wilson at this point in the game?
Well, if you go over the scouting reports, you got to look out over the plate and try to react in. And most of those pitches are away from our Fox Tracks by Southland technology. That's a pitcher's pitch right on down and away. Now the challenge for Chase Headley is he's used to seeing Brian Wilson in that Giants uniform throwing with velocity and throwing in. Now he's changed his ways, working on that outer edge, but they have that information.
And Headley is gone in 3 pitches. That fastball there at 93.
Cut her way. Four-seamer elevated in the strike zone.
So a little extra giddy up from Wilson. Here's Jed Jerko. One hopper, sharp one to Ellis at second. And Jed's gone for the second out. But Ellis doing a nice job just playing that ball in front of him. Ball came up on him and he was able to settle in and throw out Jerko.
A good swing by Jed Jerko. Looking that outer edge, having a plan at the plate.
Padres down to their last out. And it's Jesus Guzman. See if he can't get his first hit tonight. Works the count to 2 balls and a strike. Remember, they used to say fear the beard in San Francisco. As you point out, the velocity not being what it once was. It's maybe not as much to fear, but the control has certainly been there tonight.
Well, he gives the added element to Don Mattingly and his pitching staff. Just deepens that bullpen. Brandon League has gone through some struggles. They brought him in to be that setup man. I thought this was a good signing for the Dodgers. And bringing in that mentality for Brian Wilson as that closer mentality.
And Wilson will strike out Guzman to end the game. Strikes out Headley, gets Jerko to ground out, and Guzman gone. Dodgers win 4-0. Let's check out what's coming up on Padres Live, the postgame show with Laura McKeevan. Laura?
All right, Michael, coming up on Padres Live, we've got a live interview with Andrew Cashner. He'll get the start tomorrow, and coming off his almost perfect game, he'll tell us what his mindset is going in tomorrow. Also, Jared Dudley from the Clippers stops by. Stay tuned.